Join me as we light the chalice. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in the celebration of a life we share together.
Thank you, John. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. It's my privilege to serve this congregation as your pastor. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to do so. Again, my name is Charlie Tyler. I'm also known as he who keeps forgetting his coat. Thank you for your patience. We have a fabulous time scheduled here today. I'm looking very much forward to us being able to be a part of some really great teaching and understanding of what's going on in our world. And all of you know how much I think of Pat Jobe, his friendship, and his wisdom. So we're looking forward to that. This is an opportunity, if you can, for those of you that are first or second-time visitors, if you're willing to stand where you are. If you don't want to, that's okay too. If you weren't willing to stand where you are, give us your name and tell us where you're from. We'd love to be able to greet you. On my far right, and yes, ma'am. Perfect. Welcome. Good to have you. Anybody else on my right, your left, in the middle section? First time? Yes, ma'am. Oh,
third time.
That's quite all right.
Late from New York.
All right, welcome.
And your
Sonya's daughter, too. Absolutely. Anybody else in this intersection willing to stand? Yes, ma'am. If you would, please.
Debbie, I'm newly to Hilton Head. I was in Georgia last year.
welcome.
Welcome. My left, your right. Any new visitors in this section? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary, and I live in Bluffton.
I certainly hope that those of you who have made your way here for the first or second time find this to be an incredibly positive experience where you begin to discover how loved and accepted you are as who you are and in no other circumstances. You are welcome here, and we look forward to getting to know you better if you'd like. I have a number of things that I want to bring to our attention. First, I'm going to ask Linda Librera if she'd be willing to come up and speak.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Linda. I'm currently the treasurer of UUCL. First, I want to take this opportunity to thank Jen Dunn and John Wall for their outstanding planning of the gala. For their outstanding planning of the gala. The theme, entertainment, and dinner was very creative, enjoyable, and a great kickoff for our annual pledge drive. It is a phenomenal task, so kudos to you both. I see you both back there. Over the past 4 weeks, you have heard stories from our members about their journey to UUCL and what this congregation means to them. Now, this is your opportunity to thank and support them by your contribution in order to keep this wonderful community vital and meaningful to others. As of yesterday, Our total pledge drive amount collected was $94,736. That seems pretty impressive, but it is only 59% of our goal of $161,273. It still leaves us $66,000 short of our goal. The important thing is to return that card, not how much you give. Well, actually, that's pretty important too, but I digress. When I was a little girl in a small Presbyterian church, Pledge Sunday meant two burly men dressed in suits actually coming into your living room to talk to you and have you sign a pledge card. At UUCL, we just ask you to return a pledge card and even provide you with a stamped envelope. The point is, we don't want to be forced to beam Captain Charlie and Commander Pat into your living rooms to retrieve those cards. Thanks for listening.
Pat, when's the last time you've been threatened with a visit? I know. You guys better shape up. We're going to show up on your doorsteps. Just kidding. We had a fabulous night this past Friday night at the Music to Malthus. First of all, a thanks to Joanne Melange for her efforts and her trolling looking for great talent to bring here, and I know that she's on her way again to go searching for more talent. Jacob Johnson was an extraordinary talent, and we were blessed to have him here with us. Cheryl McCarthy posted a short video of some of his skills, and it's worth going to find and just see what you missed. Those of you that are here, that were here, we don't have any words. You just got to go watch it. Grateful to David and Sarah for working hand in glove with Jacob for the sound and the perfect atmosphere set by John Shepard as well too. It was a great night, and we're looking forward to more of those. You'll see that May 4th is also scheduled for a fabulous time. We hope that you'll be able to be there for that with the Levins on Saturday, May 4th. That'll be at 7 o'clock. Mary Linney and Leslie Haas, would you two please stand wherever you are? Or maybe they're out working. So they are asking that sign up for people to help with the rummage sale. The two of them will be at the door. Matter of fact, they're probably back there now. The two of them will be at the door to sign up for 3 hours or more any day next week to help us price all of the donations brought in by all of you today. Help is needed after talkback to set up tables in the sanctuary for the rummage sale. If you can do so, please take care of that. That would be great. One other note, we are an inclusive organization. And we have a history of the great faiths that have gone before us. I'll remind you that tomorrow begins Passover, and we find indeed the wisdom of this sacred celebration in our own hearts, however it is that we may celebrate in our past. And so we look forward to being a part of that in our spiritual way. We are also excited to announce that Alice Follert, did I do that right? Alice, would you stand for a second? This is Mike Block's wife. She's going to be signing the book today. Alice is a member of Birmingham United Methodist Church, and I always ask her, Birmingham where? And she says, Birmingham, Michigan. So there is such a thing. So she's a member of that congregation. You and Mike are both welcome here. Thank you for that. We welcome Alice today. A reminder that movie night, May 7th, if you've got your little cards out, make note of that. The film is Namesake. It's really an extraordinary movie. I hope you get a chance to see it. If you plan to attend, please email Hayagwa, Beth, or Lynn, or sign up in the lobby. Is Hayagwa here? Would Beth and Lynn please stand? Yes. All right, talk to those two if you want to be a part of movie night. We had over 30 people last time, and so you're going to want to be a part of that. That was really extraordinary. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Give me an opportunity to step back up. Let's see. Pat Jobe, this extraordinary friend of mine with his fabulous Southern voice and his liberal message, breaks my heart every time he speaks. And I love to have him here with me. I love to have him here with us because we are the better person, the better people, because Pat is with us. Pat, if you would use your opening words.
Charlie has changed his evaluation of my accent. He called it a southern accent, but he has in the past called it a hillbilly accent. So, Alice, where is Alice? Alice, congratulations on signing the book. You think that you've hit the jackpot, but let me assure you that we feel like we've hit the jackpot. We're so glad to have you join us. And I want to say I am organized, y'all. I really am. I want to say to Mary and Debbie and somebody right in the middle whose name I didn't catch. Who's the first-time visitor who's right here, or the third-time visitor? Yes, tell me your name again.
Blake.
Blake.
Blake. Like William Blake.
Just like it.
Yeah, to see a world in a grain of sand. How wonderful. I want to say to the three of you that you have also hit the jackpot. You're part of a great congregation at this moment, and we're so glad you're here. We're plumb tickled to death. And there are a lot of people here today who've never heard anybody say plumb tickled to death. I also want to say a word about Music on Malphurs. Many of you do not come to Music on Malphurs. And I don't want to lay a guilt trip on anybody about that. I'm serious. Don't feel guilty that you don't come. But what you need to know is what you do for this community, because you're part of a congregation that provides Music on Malphurs. We need to evaluate ourselves not in terms of what gets done for us, but what we do for other people. And I know that's overstating the obvious, but this community benefits so much because of Joanne's hard work and because of David's hard work and the other folks who run the sound and make this available to the community. This is a community service provided by the UU Congregation of the Low Country. Amen? Amen. You ever do that, Charlie? All right, there you go, yeah. Our opening words come from Thich Nhat Hanh. When you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence. How can you love if you're not there? Oh, and John, an indulgence. This hymn is so damn long. Can we just do the first two verses? 121 in your hymnals.
If you would please take your hymnals into your hands, and we'll sing together. So for those of you who are from Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, or parts of the North, plum tickled translates happy. I too am bilingual.
Try it now.
We'll get it.
Try it again. Try it again.
Oh, try it now. Try it now? Yeah.
Maybe even now. It's getting better. Yeah, it's getting better. Okay.
Good.
Woo. That sounds good. Okay, so the seventh principle of Unitarian Universalism is that we have respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, which simply means that we believe in caring for this earth and for every living thing that shares the planet with us. In an effort to stay current with the times that we're living in, many of you know that over the last several years, our faith has worked hard to revise and update our language, so we are now referring to our principles as values. And it is in our value of interdependence where we can find our seventh principle. Instead of saying that we have respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, we now say we honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for this great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. And we include an action statement that says we covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships as we work to repair harm. Because we believe that although people have damaged our world, it's not too late for people to save it. This morning, besides speaking about being in the present moment, Reverend Pat Jobe will be urging us to think about all those things that are going on beyond what we immediately perceive. So in thinking about that message, and also because tomorrow is Earth Day, I thought that it might be good to talk about how taking good care of our planet not only benefits where we are at the moment, but also in ways that are far beyond what we can see. One of the reasons that Unitarian Universalists feel so strongly about taking care of the earth is that part of the basic foundation of our religious education program is the understanding that having direct experiences out of doors in nature is essential for our spiritual development. And I know that all of you here today in this room can remember a time when you were outside. You might have been in a huge national park, or maybe you were just in the woods at the end of your street, but you were outside. You were exploring the world beyond the surface, and suddenly you felt the mystery. You felt connected to something that was bigger than yourself, and it was exciting. You religious educators believe that in order to be a steward of the earth, you have to have had these kinds of experiences. You have to have sensed the wonder of nature. So protecting the natural world is very important to us. We also believe that we must show love to the earth because it is our only home. And there are many ways to do this. Last weekend, Neil and I were visiting friends in Colombia, and in their backyard, believe it or not, they had clothes hanging on the clothesline. Drying their clothes in the sun was one of the things that they do to help the environment.
I couldn't believe it because I haven't seen that for such a long time. But at this time, I would like to ask those who are comfortable in doing so to briefly share something that you are doing that also may be something that we all might do that would help to take care of or help to protect our planet. If you can just raise your hand, I'll acknowledge you. You can call out from your seat what it is that you do, and I'll repeat it if needed, and we'll just see if that works. And we'll start with Barbara.
I plant trees
Barbara plants trees
everywhere.
everywhere. Rosemary.
Plant native plants and trees, and they use less water, and they live a lot better. Don't plant things that don't belong here.
Plant native plants. Marcy.
I walk the beach every morning and take an extra bag for dog waste and pick up trash and encourage tourists to help us keep our beach.
Lovely. Walks the beach every day and picks up trash along the way. Lynn.
This is not outdoors, but I make sure that there are no outlets on for electricity unless absolutely needed at the time.
Yes.
Yes. Turn off the lights. And Linda.
We put a beehive in our backyard.
Oh, they put a beehive in their backyard. And the native plants make it perfect. Yeah, Lynn. Is everybody named Lynn?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I don't eat animals.
Lynn does not eat animals. Tina.
Participating in the cleanup programs like Clean Up the May River.
Oh yeah, clean up the May River. Clean up. There's also lots of programs around here locally for cleanup days, including right here at UUCL. And yes, Leslie.
I also only eat plants. I crowd out my plate with nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. And on the rare occasions that I enjoy local seafood, I eat locally.
Mm-hmm. Eating locally and eating consciously, mindfully. Yes, David.
Feed the birds, a variety of foods to feed the birds and provide fresh water for drinking.
Yes, feed the birds. Mary Poppins, not the only one. Mike.
My wife and I bought an all-electric car yesterday.
Oh.
So be careful if you buy one, because if you tell your friends and neighbors, we've been told that we're most likely the battery's going to blow up.
So buying an electric car truly does help the environment. Yes, Patricia.
I also don't eat animals, and I don't use Roundup in my yard to my frustration, but I don't use it.
Yes, not
I know
using
it kills
pesticides,
everything,
insecticides.
including the people who are putting it down eventually.
Yes, and Roundup is really known for that. If you can avoid using it, that would be good. Greg.
Yes, I also am a bird feeder.
Yep, feeding the birds. And Betsy.
Mike made a bluebird house, so we provide
Oh.
a house for the bluebirds to have babies.
Yes. So Mike Nicholson, as you know, is a wood carver, and he made a bluebird house. That's wonderful. Tish.
I'm part of the Sea Turtle Patrol Auxiliary,
Ah.
and we teach about the turtles, the sea turtles, and we clean up the beach, and we fill in the holes and knock out sandcastles.
Yes, Tish is an active member of the Sea Turtle Auxiliary on Hilton Head. Keep going. And yes, and if you want to know any information about that, Google it, and they do so much for this seacoast. Blake.
No paper products. I use cloth napkins, and I try very hard not to buy paper products or plastic.
That's right. If we can avoid paper products as much as possible, and plastic also.
Still hold on to a little bit of paper towel. I can't let that go yet.
A little bit of, yes, I know. Reduce your use of paper towels and really, really try to avoid plastic, which is really hard to do. Marcy.
Well, the town of Hilton Head now is banning fraudulent rat poison. They're also going to try to ban Roundup, and they're going to use
Oh, yes. Yes. So the town of Hilton Head is actively working on using silent fireworks in the future, and also banning the some types of rat poison, the insecticides that have their anticoagulant rat poison in them and all things like that.
Well, I volunteer for the Bird Prey Center, and there are a lot of birds of prey that owls have been decimated because they're eating poison rats. So
That's true.
around the town center not using it.
The poison that's put out there affects birds of prey very often, and you'll see that they've been damaged by it. Yes, Clay, and it's time to wrap it up, and that's true. So as we can all see, there are. I was just giving everybody a chance to speak, but there are many ways that we can take care of our Earth and show love for our planet, and that's what we're going to be doing this morning in the Sunday school. So we only have a couple of kids here today, but those who volunteered to come with us, we're going to go outside and pick up trash, and we will let you know during the coffee hour how much we found.
And because of our connectedness, those of you who have brought non-perishables to donate to the food pantry, please leave them on the table or under the table in the back of the sanctuary. And now, because we are all connected in a web of support and love, we will take the collection for the health of our congregation. Excuse me. Thank you for your generous and ongoing support of this congregation.
My bad.
Good morning. I'm Tish, and in keeping with the spirit of connectedness, we at this point like to share our joys and concerns. We share our joys because they make them better, and we share our concerns because they, thank you, get closer, how's that? Because they make them easier to bear. So if you have something you'd like to share, we ask that you come forward, take a stone from the basket, and give us your name, briefly share whatever you want to share, and then place the stone into the carom.
So before we start, just a point of personal privilege. Many of you know that one of our members new to us, Ray Haley, has been sick for a good while. Ray passed away earlier this week. I have been in touch with his wife, Kathleen, a number of times, and he loves you. He loves this congregation. And even though he was only part of us for a short time, he will be missed. Kathleen, his wife, will be making plans for a service here later in May as she begins to coordinate getting the family down here for a service. So she feels like this is the best place to celebrate his life. Thank you, Tish.
I thought you had forgotten.
No.
I'm Betsy with news of the Care Committee.
Can't hear me.
Closer?
Yeah.
How's that? Betsy with the Care Committee. Lynn and Gordon. You're here. And some more good news. Marietta Kerr was discharged from the hospital. And she is home now in Sun City. And she would welcome very short visits from people. So if you'd like to visit her, give her a call, and she would welcome you. Thank you.
Am I close enough? Yeah. Closer? Okay. I feel like I feel like I'm eating it. Okay. I'm Jan, and that's John. And we want to share our joy that the last week is over. Moving is so much fun, and it's over. And in the middle of moving, we had a major hack that we've been dealing with that has been very negative and bad. But things are hopefully calming down, and we are now in our new permanent house in Margaritaville. And
we wouldn't be able to say that if it hadn't been for Gary Green and his help in getting everything moved.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It might be the last time I'm here for a while. I'm not sure. You guys make me emotional because you're like, oh. I'm Sarah, and my joy. I want to thank Susan and the rest of the congregation for the wonderful baby shower you threw for me and my husband for our new baby that we'll be having soon. So we got like stuffed animals and things that project stars in the ceiling, and diapers and cash donations so we could buy the car seat, and more diapers and blankets and clothing, and so thank you so much. You really overwhelmed us with a blessing. And due date is May 18. I may go earlier, so you can keep me in your hearts. I have gestational diabetes, which is not like a big deal, but it's like, what do I eat? And I'm hungry. So they might decide to do the induction, which is being induced. I just learned that is the noun for induce. And they might do that earlier. So, and feeling a little bit tired, can't get comfortable. So if any guys want to know what it's like to be pregnant, I'll happily tell you today. I was just thinking the world needs more education about it. So yeah, just, tired. I'm not sure how many more Sundays I'll make it in, and then after we have the baby, of course, home a little bit more. So maybe you'll see me more midsummer.
With the baby. With
the
baby.
Yes. Yes. Venezuelan culture has a tradition where you stay home for 40 days. Oh. So I'm talking to my husband about this now. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much, and thank you for keeping us in your hearts. And she's moving and active and growing, and just excited, a little scared. But thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Steve. Last weekend, Joanne and I had the happiness of visiting her family in New York for 3 days. We got to see her son, her daughter, and our 4 grandchildren, including our grandchild Carter, who celebrated his 18th birthday. Oh, we went to a Met game.
Hi, my name's Gary Green. I would like to amplify what Pat and Charlie said about music on Malthus. If you enjoy live music in this wonderful, intimate atmosphere, and you weren't here, you missed a heck of a performance. I was smiling all night. The musicianship, the vocals, it's just wonderful. You should really consider making the next show.
Okay, I'll take 2 stones for those joys and concerns which remain in our heart. Now, if you would turn to the back of your hymnal to hit affirmation number 461. Nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. Therefore, we are saved by hope. Nothing true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we are saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we are saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend and foe as from our own. Therefore, we are saved by the final form of love, which is forgiveness.
Where is Ellen, David?
Straight back, by the window.
Will you come on? Come on. We've got a little bit of a logistical challenge. I'm ending my message today with a piece of music being played behind a letter I'm going to read. And I didn't want to have to wait on Ellen to move. Let's start by breathing together. Let's take a deep breath. And notice that we not only have this powerful thing within us that breathes, but everybody around us has it too. And then notice what we see through these windows. I'd love to talk with whoever designed this sanctuary. What a great idea. What a great idea to have these open views of the beauty outside the windows. I want to encourage you today to do something that you don't often do. Maybe never. I want to encourage you to notice presence beyond the things that you ordinarily notice. This is going to require you to shift in your noticing. And I know this will be hard for some of you, maybe even impossible, because many of you believe you are already noticing everything you need to notice. And that's okay. Remember, we're Unitarian Universalists, and we get to listen to a speaker on Sunday morning and then go on and do what we darn well please. That is freedom. I am free to say what I darn well please, and you get to do with it whatever you will. You can only imagine how wonderful that is for me as a speaker, and I hope for you as a listener. Let's begin with those breaths. 99% of the time, we don't notice. If there's a gas leak or somebody cracks a rotten egg, we notice the smell, but not necessarily that the smell is part of the air we breathe. And yet our breath is fully operational beyond our noticing it. We do not breathe ourselves as an intention or an act of will. Breath just comes and it comes again. And it has us utterly dependent on something beyond ourselves. The atmosphere. Take just a moment to notice your breath. Notice it, and notice how it makes you dependent on things beyond yourself. That is presence. Sometimes it's just out of reach. Other times it's like breakfast on the table. Whether we notice it or not, it is always present. The great work of our lives is to be present to that which is present in the present moment. Here are some words that come from a mystic friend of mine, Jane Woods. She writes, "There are two particular concepts that help me understand how this works. One of them is the interconnectedness of all things, seen, unseen, and the other is a sense of scale. Outwardly, universal law operates on our level the same way it does for an amoeba or a galaxy. Inwardly, in heaven as on earth." I've always thought Rumi nailed it when he said, "The holographic phenomenon is found in these lines. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are a single drop which contains the ocean." We must realize we are participating in a cosmic story, or else everything else becomes painfully nonsensical. That's the quote from Jane Woods. In Barbara Ehrenreich's book, Living with a Wild God, which I recommend so highly, she talks about what lies beyond what is apparently real. I encourage you to read her book, Living with a Wild God. I know some of you are atheists, and she is as well. She was the great-granddaughter of an atheist who bore atheist children, who bore atheist grandchildren, one of whom was Barbara's mother. And yet, as a professing atheist, she had an experience at age 13 in which she looked at a tree that was no longer a tree. She affirmed that the reality she had once called a tree was gone, but something still remained. If I had to reduce this morning's message to 3 words, those would be the 3. Something still remains. This was her experience of reality, which lies behind what we normally think of as reality. George Carlin said, "Reality, what a concept." Because of Barbara Ehrenreich's becoming aware of that which lies behind, just beyond apparent reality, she doesn't understand why people aren't grabbing each other in the street and shouting, "Can you believe this? Isn't it amazing?" On the other hand, Carolyn Mace tells a story that further illustrates the point. As a young woman, early in her career, she had a choice about whether to take a job to the north or to the south. She talked to her grandmother about it. Her grandmother said, "Seek spiritual guidance. Your answer will come." And within just a few days, she saw a feather lying on the ground pointing north. And so she said, that's the job I took. I went to the job where the feather was pointing. And I got so excited. I ran to my grandmother and I said, Grandmother, I saw a feather. And the feather pointed me north, so I'm going to take the job in the north. And her grandmother said, Honey, why are you so excited? Are you not equally excited that your heart is beating? That you can breathe? That you have blood in your veins? Are you not equally excited to be alive? Sam Harris writes in Waking Up, A Guide to Spirituality Without Religion, there is an enormous difference between being hostage to one's thoughts and being freely and non-judgmentally aware of life in the present. The present. That's it. What do we do with our one wild and precious life matters at an infinite level. It is true treasure we are seeking. Whatever we are doing in any moment of our lives. And it does not amount to a hill of beans. If we could just hold those two thoughts simultaneously, what we do with our one wild and precious life matters at an infinite degree, and it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Hold those two thoughts. F. Scott Fitzgerald said, the ability to hold two contradictory thoughts in your mind at the same time is the test of a true intelligence. He was talking about Unitarians, wasn't he? We need to tell our children over and over that they matter. They are important. They are wonderful. They are good and extraordinary. And then when they get to be about 18 or 25 or 30, we need to tell them they don't amount to a hill of beans. And hold those two thoughts in their minds simultaneously. Okay, guys. It's time for music. As you listen to this music, this incredible music from Jay Unger, and listen to this letter from Major Sullivan Blue, which was read on the documentary The Civil War, I ask you to think about presence. Think about what is present in the present moment. My very dear wife, indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Lest I should not be able to write you again, I feel impelled a few lines that may fall into your eyes when I shall be no more. Our movement may be one of a few days' duration and full of pleasure, and it may be one of severe conflict and death to me. If it is necessary that I should fall on the battlefield for my country, I am ready. I have no misgivings about or lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I have sought most closely and diligently and often in my breast for a wrong motive in this hazarding the happiness of those I love, and I could not find one. A pure love of my country and of the principles I have often advocated, in the name of honor that I love more than I fear death, have called upon me, and I have obeyed. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence can break. And yet, my love of country comes over me like a strong wind and bears me irresistibly on with all its chains to the battlefield. The memories of all the blissful moments I have spent with you come crowding over me, and I feel most deeply grateful to God and you that I have enjoyed them so long, and how hard it is for me to give them up and burn to ashes the hopes of future years, when God willing we might still have lived and loved together and seen our boys grow up to be honorable men. Forgive my many faults, the many pains I have caused you. How thoughtless, how foolish I have often been. How gladly would I wash out with my tears every little spot upon your happiness, and struggle with all the misfortune of this world to shield you and my children from harm. But I cannot. I must watch you from the spirit land and hover near you while you buffet the storms with your precious little freight, and wait with sad patience till we meet to part no more. But oh, Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you. In the garish day and in the darkest night, amidst your happiest scenes and gloomiest hours, always, always. And if the soft breeze fans your cheek, it shall be my breath. Or the cool air cools your throbbing temples, it shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me. Think I am gone and wait for me, for we shall meet again. Major Ballou died in combat 2 days later at First Bull Run. And that's why I love Pat Jobe.
Yeah.
Can we make him feel special here today? So David, Ellen, and John expect to get a call from Ken Burns soon. They want you in the backup. There is a talk back that will be taking place as soon as we can regather back here for the end of our time. And we look forward to being able to share some of our thoughts with Pat. Thank you so much for that deeply present message that draws us into our own presence. Hang on a second. For our guests who are here, we thank you, and that is why we love this place so much. I hope that you're able to see exactly who we are, what we're about. You should know that if you can stay for the talk back, just to listen, you will see a little bit more deeply into who we are as a people and the love and care and respect that we have for each other. Blake, good to have you here. Lisa, Debbie, and Mary, thank you so much for being a part of this service today. I hope it has been positive to you and somehow whispers you back next Sunday. Thank you for being here. Pat Jobe, closing thoughts.
My closing words come from Eckhart Tolle. As I understand it, the German word for cool and groovy is Tolle. And he rode in a cab in Germany once, and the cab driver found out who he was and said, "Tolle is Tolle." He writes, "In the stillness of your presence, you can feel your own formless and timeless reality as the unmanifested life that animates your physical form. You can then feel the same deep life within every other human being and every other creature. You look beyond the veil of form and separation. This is the realization of oneness. This is love."
Shall we rise as one and extinguish our chalice? The words are in your order of service. While we extinguish this flame,
we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment,
until we are together again. Thank you.